Breathe. All right, we're going to come to a comfortable seat. Sitting nice and tall. Gently closing the eyes. Just noticing what's going on inside of us. Let your breath circulate freely through your body. Yes. Just notice what's going on inside of you. On a physical, mental, and emotional level. It may be also on a spiritual level. And whatever you come across, just acknowledge it, but try not to dwell on it and try not to judge. Tonight, you're going to be an observer of your practice rather than a critic. And begin, pay attention to your breath. Notice how it's entering and exiting your body. And notice what it feels like when it does. Start breathing in on a count of 4, and then hold your breath. And then exhale on a count of 6 or more, and hold the breath at the bottom as well. And you can continue to keep your eyes closed. Let your chin fall to your chest. And then begin to roll out your neck, moving in both directions. Notice if you come across any little kinks or sore spots, and if you feel like you need to hold the stretch for a moment, you can. But we'll take the right ear over the right shoulder right now. At the same time, touch your left fingertips to the earth and take your right hand just lightly onto your hand. Using the weight of your hand to stretch the left side of your neck. And then we're going to switch side. And then just let your head hang in the center. And if your eyes are still closed, let's take the head straight ahead and open the eyes to a soft gaze. Let's take the legs in front. They can be bent. They can also be open just a little bit or completely closed. Feet can be just relaxed. Inhale as you reach your arms up. And as you exhale, just let your upper body fall forward. Remember that tonight is not about the perfect pose. Tonight is about what feels good to you and listening to your body. Taking slow, deep breaths if you can. Go back to that breathing technique we practiced at the beginning of class. Inhaling on a count of 4, holding the breath, and then exhaling on a count of 6 or more and holding the breath again. And inhale, slowly come back up. And then bring your right knee in. Just hug it for a second. Hug your knee in, lengthen your spine, reach the crown of your head upward. And then keep your left arm wrapped around your right shin. Inhale your right arm up. And as you exhale, look over your right shoulder, lengthen the spine. Just notice this gentle twist in the midsection of the body. Making sure that you go to wherever you're comfortable with this pose. If you feel like you want to push yourself tonight, you can do that, but this is not the class that encourages you to go to your edge. And back to the center, and gently give yourself a counter twist, and then switch sides. Hug your left leg in, just hug it in tightly. And then lengthen your spine as you hug your knee in, leaving the right arm around the left leg. Inhale the left arm up, and then exhale as you twist and look over your left shoulder. Taking slow, deep breaths. Whenever you can think about it, go back to that breathing technique we practiced at the beginning of class. Soften your gaze. So think about softening the muscles in your face. And go ahead and come back to the center, giving yourself a gentle counter twist. And we're going to take to the hands and knees. Moving through cat and cow. Try to have your shoulders right over your wrists and your hips right over your knees. And then as you exhale, pull your back around and let your head hang in cat pose. And as you inhale, sway your back, lifting the heart forward, looking up in cow pose. And continue on your own, exhaling to cat and inhaling to cow. And notice what your spine feels like this afternoon, and also notice what your back feels like. And any thoughts that enter your mind right now, let them just come and go. It is impossible to turn off your brain, so thoughts will enter your brain at any time. But what you can do is you can just let them come and go without dwelling on them. Let's exhale one more time into cat pose. And then on your next inhale, widen your knees and come into extended child's pose. And while you're down here, press your third eye into the mat. Reach your tailbone behind you. And try to walk your fingertips away from your body. And walk your fingertips over to the right, shifting the hips slightly to the left. And then go ahead and walk your fingertips over to the left, shifting the hips over to the right. And whenever you can, try to press your third eye, the area between your eyebrows, into the floor. Or if you have a yoga block or any other prop that you rather use, press that area down onto a surface. And what that does is it helps if you tend to be a little anxious, it calms you down. Bring your arms back to the center. And then tuck your toes under for downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide. Just pedal your feet back and forth. Noticing what your lower legs feel like this afternoon. Also feel your Achilles tendons maybe. And if you have a little tightness in your hamstrings, you probably feel this there as well. Just take note of the feelings you come across, but try not to put a label on them. And when I say that, I mean, do not say something like, my hamstrings feel tight and that is no good, or something like that. Yes, it is. Sometimes your hamstrings feel tighter and sometimes they feel looser, but we don't have to make a judgment call on whatever they feel like tonight. When you're ready for it, lower both heels to the floor. And just experiment a little bit with your shoulders by rocking just ever so slightly forward and back. And then slowly begin to settle into your downward facing dog. You can just let your head go. Breathing in and out slowly. On your next inhale, slowly come forward into a knee plank. And as you exhale, lower yourself down onto your stomach. Bringing the feet together. Inhale as you lift up into Cobra Pose. Stay here. Think about pulling the shoulders away from the ears. And turn your head and look over your right shoulder. And turn your head and look over your left shoulder. And then turn your head back to the center. Inhale. As you exhale, come back down. And then as you inhale, using the hands now, come up into a modified upward facing dog where you leave your knees on the floor. And then push your hips down. And you can even just sink into your shoulders and then come back out of your shoulders, looking over the right shoulder. Maybe you can see your feet back there. And then looking over the left shoulder. And just keep moving a little bit from side to side. And notice all the sensations in your body. And also take a note of where you notice these sensations. And sometimes when we come across tightness, muscle tightness, or joint stiffness in the body, that will start to trigger emotion. And if that happens, acknowledge the emotions, but try not to dwell on them. But if it ever gets to the point where you cannot control your emotions, then you can just maybe take a break, pull into child's pose, and find your center again. Right now, let's tuck the toes under and come back to downward facing dog. And we will go ahead and walk the hands in towards the feet. And when we do that, we are also going to bend the knees. Holding opposite elbows, lift your head high. And then begin to just let your body sway from side to side or forward and back. And notice what your lower back feels like when you do this. Try to eliminate any tension in your neck. If you feel some tension, you may shake out your head. You can also let go of your arms and give yourself a little massage. Just observe. Letting your body just hang and letting gravity do its job. Maybe you get a mental image of what your body looks like on the inside as you're practicing yoga. Slow and roll up your back. Stacking your spine one vertebra at a time. And when you get up there, slide your shoulder blades down your back. And then we'll inhale, reaching the arms up. Let's interlace the fingers and then turn the palms up. And then we'll move from side to side, gently bending the sides of the body. Noticing how these side bends make you feel. Attention. Acknowledge, but try not to judge. More time to each side. Every time it makes it feel like your sides are getting longer, your arms are lengthening. Let's come back to the center, and then we're going to just do a gentle twist. Try to keep your head right in between your arms, which may or may not be so easy. And remember, this is not about perfection tonight. Come back to the center and go the other way. keeping the shoulders drawn away from the ears. To the center, inhale. And as you exhale, let your arms go and gently start to roll back down, one vertebra at a time. Notice what your spine feels like when you do this. Walk your hands out to downward facing dog. And let your body rock back into extended child's pose. Staying here for a moment, press the area between your eyebrows into the floor. Take inventory. Notice if your body responds to your yoga practice. And remember, your body responds in sensations. It can't talk to you verbally, so it gives you cues by responding in sensation. Let's take the arms behind the back and interlace the fingers again. Picking the bottom up just a little bit. Roll on lightly onto the crown of your head. And then let your arms come away from your back to stretch your shoulders gently. Keeping a slight bend in your elbows. You never want to lock your joints out. If you ever feel as if you're stretching your joints rather than your muscles, you should probably readjust and try to stretch again, because that is not the focus of a yoga pose. Gently come back down. And then place your hands onto the floor. Come back onto your hands and knees. And we will lift the right arm up. And on an exhale, slowly bring this right arm through the left arm and the left leg. And turn your head to the left. Coming into threading the needle. Gently place your head onto the floor. And then extend your left arm forward as you press your left armpit down. Breathing. Remember to come back to that breath that we used in the beginning of class. Inhaling on a count of 4. Holding the breath at the top. And then exhaling on a count of 6 or more. And holding the breath again. If you ever feel that you rather close your eyes while you do your yoga, that's perfectly fine. You probably noticed that I have my eyes closed quite a bit. As you slowly inhale, make your way back onto all fours. And then we'll simply reverse. Inhale the left arm up. And exhale as you thread the needle. Lightly placing the head and the shoulder onto the mat, and then walking the right fingertips away, pressing the right armpit down. Maybe you notice a difference between the left side and the right side. And if you do, acknowledge the difference, but try not to find reasons for why it may be different. Just let it be. Acknowledge without judging, without finding a reason. Just acknowledge. Then gently come back onto all fours and pull back into extended child's pose. Pressing the third eye into the mat. Noticing what's going on inside of your body, your physical body. But then also take inventory of what's going on in your emotional body. In keeping the connection between your mind and your body, make sure you keep observing what's going on. And then slowly help yourself up to a seated position. Once again, taking the legs in front. We'll do a seated forward bend. Again, you can keep your knees slightly bent. You can open them a little bit if that's more comfortable. Inhale as you reach your arms up. And then exhale as you gently fold forward. And tonight, you can feel free to round your back. You don't have to be perfect. Remember, tonight is not about the perfect pose. Tonight is about making the yoga practice feel good for you, whatever that means for you. As long as you're safe and you're not hurting yourself, I guess then it wouldn't feel good for you, right? Breathing deeply and slowly. And then pick your upper body up. And just give your legs a little shake. And we'll bring the right foot into the left thigh. And then we'll swing this left leg open just a little bit. Inhale again, reaching the arms up. Exhale as you just lean forward. So you can stay here. Or if you have the flexibility and you want that deeper stretch, bring your upper body further forward and press the third eye down again. And this is just a really good technique to relieve some anxiety and also to keep yourself grounded. At the same time, as you're feeling yourself pressing the third eye down, if you can't reach the floor, by the way, you can stack your fists on top of each other and press the third eye down that way. At the same time, also notice your sitting bone securely on the floor in contact with the earth. And then slowly walk your upper body over to your long leg. Again, tonight, it's perfectly fine if you round your back a little bit. Breathing slowly. Let's see if this works for you. Pick your upper body up just a little bit. Take both hands to the outside of that long leg. Lift your upper body and then look over your shoulder. Slowly bring the upper body back to the center. bring your legs together, give them a little shake, and then nestle your left foot into your right thigh and swing the right leg open just a little bit. Inhale as you reach both arms up, and then exhale and come forward. And again, if you can reach the floor, press the third eye into the floor. If not, stack one fist on top of the other. Or if you have a prop, use your prop. Notice the contact between your third eye and your hands on the floor, and also your sitting bones and the floor. Also pay attention to the difference between the left side and the right side. Notice where you feel the difference in your body. And then also notice if any emotion comes up about that. Gently walk your upper body over to your long leg. And again, if you like, you can round your back. Practice your poses to the extent of where they feel good to you. Tonight is a very gentle practice. A practice where you have the chance at all times to keep observing your body, how it feels, what it feels like in space, and the connection between your mind and your body. Let's gently pick the upper body up again and take both hands to the outside of the long leg, and then lift your upper body and look over your shoulder and see what that feels like. I feel a definite difference between my left side and my right side. I'm trying to observe that, keeping my focus on it, but I'm also trying to not go any deeper into that thought. Slowly take it back to the center. And then take your legs in front, wiggle them out, and put the soles of your feet together for cobbler's pose. Scooting the butt in towards the feet or vice versa. Take your hands to your feet and use your elbows to gently push down on your knees. And as I said before, tonight, you may round your back. It's fine. Notice what your inner thighs feel like. And then really pay attention to emotions. Because when we go into the hips a little deeper like this, sometimes emotions want to come up. The hips and the emotions definitely have a connection. Sometimes it feels good if you rock yourself from side to side a little bit. Or even if you flutter your knees a little bit, just be mindful that you don't start to bounce in your stretch. So it should just be a small flutter if you choose to do this. And then we will take the legs in front again. Let's try to keep the left leg straight and just cross the right leg over. If you can, if your flexibility allows it, you want to try to bring the heel into the crease where your hip and your thigh connect. And then just move around. You can move your upper body around and just see how far you can bring your knee to the floor. It does not have to touch. In a minute, you will see a very big difference between my right side and my left side. And I know I said we should not think about why that is or why we feel a difference in the two sides of the body. But in my case, I know why that is. I had a significant injury on my left leg. And so my left side, my entire left side of my body doesn't work the same way as the right side. But right now you should feel this nicely in your right hip. And if you feel discomfort though in your knee, I say open up your knee joint a little bit. So place your ankle further down towards the left knee. Let's go ahead and switch sides. My little helper, my little helpers. I'm covered in dogs. So try to bring the other knee towards the floor. I hope you can still see me all right. Just you can move your upper body around a little bit, noticing all the different areas where you feel tightness in your body. Or maybe you don't. And if you don't feel tightness, then that's wonderful. Just make a note and say, hey, I don't feel tightness. And that's a good sensation or a good connection between your mind and your body as well. When you just realize, wow, I can do this without feeling any tension. And then we will gently extend this leg again. Making sure we give both legs a good little wiggle. I'm being displaced from my mat. Let's go ahead and place the feet onto the mat. Lifting up into a reverse table pose. If this is too rough on your wrists, so we will lift up like this, okay? If this is too rough on your wrist, you can come down onto your lower arm and lift up like this. For me, this is actually a little harder because you just have to lift harder on your hips, but it's easier on the wrists. So you decide how you want to do it. If you come up onto your hands, make sure your fingers point towards your feet and then lift. Let your head just come into a neutral position. Or if you feel comfortable with it, you can let your head drop. I'm definitely not comfortable with that. The focus here should be on lifting the heart towards the sky. So lift up, open your shoulders, open across your shoulder girdle, the front of your shoulders. I'm sorry, your collarbones there. And then slowly come back down. I'm going to face you with my back for just a second, because we're going to continue to stretch the shoulders for just a moment. Taking the right arm up. Bring the right hand to your right shoulder blade and pull up on your right elbow. Sitting up nice and tall. Try not to allow your chin to be pushed towards your chest. And if you want to have a deeper stretch yet, you can take this left arm behind your back and find your fingers there. And maybe you can interlace. And then reach the right elbow up and the left elbow down. And again, keep your head in neutral though. Do not allow your chin to be pushed towards your chest. Breathing slowly. And then gently release your arms, rolling the shoulders forward. And rolling your shoulders back. And then take your left hand to your left shoulder blade. You pull up on your left elbow, sitting up nice and tall. Noticing if there's a difference between your left side and your right side. And obviously we are stretching the shoulders here and the triceps. But see if you feel the stretch anywhere else in your body. And just take a note of it. Again, no judgment, just noticing. If you want a deeper stretch, you can take your arm behind you, and I'm going to assist myself here because I cannot reach, but I can make myself reach. And then pull the right elbow down and reach the left elbow up, looking straight ahead. Lengthen your neck, reach the crown of your head upward. Breathe. Slow, deep breaths. Gently release it. Rolling the shoulders forward and rolling the shoulders back. Let's go ahead and come onto the back. I have to upset my little yoga buddy. Slowly come down. And here we will just lift up into a bridge pose, an easy bridge. Don't push yourself. I'm being taken advantage of. Just notice what's going on in your lower back here. Careful that you don't roll too far onto your neck or head. You want to have your weight on your shoulder blade. And then gently come back down. Slowly hug your knees into your body. Hug them in tightly. You can even let your hips come off the floor as you hug. And if it feels good, start to rock from side to side. And then also rock forward and back if that feels good. And we will wind up on the backs, bring the legs straight up into the air. If you prefer to do a different inverted pose that you are comfortable with, like a shoulder stand or a headstand, you may do that. But make sure you're safe with it. For me, it's just as well to just lay here with my legs up in the air. And I usually move my feet around, giving them a little rotation, flexing and pointing and scrunching up my toes, just to give my feet a little attention. They like to stretch too, and often we forget about our feet. If your eyes are still open, I say close them now. There's no more need to keep them open. We'll hang out here for just a moment, reversing the flow. This helps your venous blood flow from the feet to the heart. Gives your heart a little break. But it also helps your lymphatic fluid. By reversing the gravity, you just help the flow from the feet back to the heart or back to the center of the body. Lymphatic fluid has no say pumping action to move around your body, so it needs vibration and gravity to help with the flow. Bring your attention to your breath again. With your eyes closed, notice all the different sensations you might feel in your body right now. And just think about those sensations as your body giving you feedback. You just did a very gentle yoga class that was very beneficial for your body. So your body is probably going to give you feedback. Try to notice it, try to pay attention to it. And go ahead and gently bring your feet down. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop out to the side. And then place your right hand to your belly and your left hand to your heart. Notice your heartbeat. Notice your belly come out on your inhale. Your body relax. You may stay here, or you may extend your legs and your arms. Come into Shavasana. You rather relax in any other position, like on your side or seated even, go ahead and do that. Just as long as you're comfortable and you could stay here for a moment. And then just like we did in the beginning of class, start to bring your attention inward. And notice what is going on inside of you on a physical, mental, emotional, and maybe also spiritual level. Notice how your breath is traveling through your body. And maybe you can get a mental image of what that might look like. Maybe you can associate a color with your breath. Maybe you can imagine a sound that your breath might make as it moves through your body. each breath you take, ask your body to let go. When you exhale, see if you can make it happen or let it happen. Slowly breathing. Each breath a little deeper, a little more meaningful than the previous one. Inhale deeply. And exhale completely. Gently allowing yourself to drift off into final relaxation. And gently begin to make movements in your fingers and your toes. Like your thumbs brush up against the pads of your fingers. And notice that tingling sensation. Waking up your body. Move your head from side to side. Place your feet onto your mat. And as you slowly inhale, reach your arms overhead. And behind you and stretch. And then curl up on your right side. Thank yourself for showing up on your mat tonight. Keeping your eyes closed, gently help yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And when you get there, place your hands into Anjali Mudra, thumbs to your heart. Slightly bow your head. And just another moment to seal in your practice. Notice your heartbeat. Feel your chest rise and fall. I sure hope you feel good about yourselves. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste.
Good thought.